And I'm Sally Schulze.
KIRO 7 Eyewitness News 11 at 11 begins right now.
Even as doctors worldwide struggle with SARS, word is now breaking tonight of a new mystery illness.
It is spreading through several Reno hotels where members of a local girls volleyball team and their parents were staying. KIRO 7 Eyewitness News reporter Rick Price joins us live from SeaTac Airport, where the girls are coming back with the stomach-turning stories you'll see only on 7. Rick?
This seems to be getting bigger, Sally. Tonight, Washoe County, Nevada is dealing with about 80 cases of this mysterious flu-like illness. Many of the victims attended a big volleyball tournament in Reno this weekend. Some are from the Northwest. They arrived at SeaTac from Reno tonight with an unusual story to tell about the flu-like illness that plagued their volleyball tournament. At first, it didn't seem like much when a couple members of Jesse Thompson's team got sick.
And then we were playing and we just heard about, they had to, shut down a whole floor and they had, health inspectors come in or something like that. I don't know.
Jesse was staying at the Reno Hilton, but now players' families are hearing that it affected other hotels as well. The only common thread, that all 80 or so victims spent time this weekend at the convention center that hosted the Far Western National Qualifier Volleyball Tournament. The Washoe County Health Department says it's not even close to finding a cause. Here in Seattle, Mike Thompson had to worry about and wait for his daughter and wife to get home, and is still waiting to hear exactly what the disease is.
The only information we have right now is that it's an unknown illness, that they're trying to get their hands around it. They've got a number of hotels, or at least some of the floors on some hotels, quarantined. They've got some of the girls, I think we've got 4 girls from our team that were sick, that they're not allowing to leave. They're not allowing them to get on the planes and come back tonight because obviously they don't want to infect the other folks on the plane.
Now we're hearing that a number of these volleyball teams had to forfeit their games because of symptoms that ranged from nausea to diarrhea. Washoe County health officials are looking into this. They've taken some samples. They're doing some tests, but they say it could be tomorrow or the next day before they begin to really know a lot about this new mystery illness. Reporting live at SeaTac Airport, Rick Price, KIRO 7 Eyewitness News.
We have more details now about this mysterious illness. This is not the first time a wave of sickness has washed over the Hilton in Reno. Back in 1996, a fast-moving virus sickened 300 people there. Health officials really want to stress this point. This does not appear to be related to SARS.
New tonight, airlift crews rushed to the South Sound after an all-terrain vehicle accident. A 25-year-old man was helicoptered to Harborview Medical Center just a short time ago. He was on a backboard, suffering from numbness in his legs. We're told he rolled his four-wheeler, taking a turn on a gravel road along the main truck road to Weyerhaeuser. Well, it's the talk of an East Side community, how a car thief was stopped by a hot tub. It happened in North Bend about this time last night when a state trooper tried to stop an SUV for a traffic violation. The driver kept on going, even after he was cornered on a dead-end street. He just wouldn't stop.
What I first heard was the police officers chasing somebody down the street in front of the house, and the next thing we heard was the loud boom.
That boom was the SUV ramming his hot tub after it plowed through the fences and yards of 2 neighbors. The suspect fled on foot, but he was arrested a short distance away. A woman who was a passenger in the SUV was taken to a hospital complaining of minor injuries.
SWAT teams move into action and put an end to a 6-hour standoff in East Tacoma. Only our cameras were there as the action unfolded. 2 people were immediately taken into custody. The man is accused of robbing a grocery store early this morning. The woman was taken into custody on an unrelated warrant. A second suspect in that robbery came out and turned himself in before the standoff started. A violent home invasion touches off a search for a dangerous suspect. A 911 call sent police swarming all over this home in Ballard this morning. A neighbor saw officers catch one suspect who was trying to hide behind a nearby dumpster, but a second suspect escaped.
I saw the suspect behind the dumpster there crouching, and it happened so fast, and then he all of a sudden got up and started running in this direction. And all of a sudden, the police officer came out of nowhere and apprehended him.
No one was hurt in that home invasion. That witness, Jeff Fujita, says police told him they think the break-in was drug-related.
The 7 former prisoners of war are back on U.S. soil tonight, and they were able to spend this Easter Sunday with their families. 2 of them also shared the holiday with the commander-in-chief. Eyewitness News reporter Amy Clancy is live with the details.
You guys are brave. That's what President Bush said as he met with the 2 Apache pilots today. An unforgettable Easter Sunday for two former prisoners of war. Today, Apache helicopter pilots David Williams and Ronald Young reflected on their miraculous homecoming with the President and First Lady by their side at Fort Hood, Texas. One pilot called the meeting, quote, awesome. President Bush said it was the other way around.
They were the encouraging people. They were the ones who offered encouragement. I was, believe this or not, somewhat taken aback when I was in their presence.
This is definitely one of the highlights of my life. Absolutely.
The highlights of the 7 former POWs' arrival in the U.S. last night were heart-stopping. Thousands welcomed them home. But now the crowds are gone, and the ex-POWs are spending a much-deserved quiet day with their families.
She's great. She's in a good spirit.
His niece, former POW Shoshana Johnson, has gunshot wounds to both ankles, but doctors say she will heal just fine, as will the hearts of those who feared the POWs were gone for good.
The soldiers coming back, finding the POWs was like a resurrection for the base.
At Fort Bliss, military families gathered for Easter services where they reflected on the weeks of not knowing and gave thanks their soldiers are home. And all 7 soldiers are currently sequestered at Fort Hood and Fort Bliss. After a brief examination and a check of their medical files, the commander of the William Beaumont Army Medical Center says they could all be sleeping in their own beds by the end of the week. Wayne?
An Easter to remember. Thanks, Amy. 2 big catches tonight from Saddam's inner circle. Tonight, a top education and science minister is in U.S. custody. They call him the 4 of Hearts in the coalition's deck of Iraq's 55 most wanted. Also, an Iraqi opposition group says Saddam's sole surviving son-in-law has surrendered to them in Baghdad. He'd apparently been in Syria. Word of his return came just hours after President Bush said there were finally positive signs coming in from Damascus. 7 of the coalition's 55 most wanted have been caught now.
New tonight on 11 at 11, Fort Lewis troops in Iraq tonight are coming under attack by thieves and beggars. This story comes from our partner, the News Tribune, which has an embedded journalist with the 62nd Medical Brigade. Now take a look at this still photo. It shows just some of the marauding kids who try to run up and steal anything they can from passing convoys. We're told the kids try to snatch anything from bottled water to sunglasses, even wash basins. You can read more about this story in tomorrow's edition of the News Tribune. Keep it here for continuing coverage of Target Iraq. You can also head to our website anytime, KIROTV.com, for the latest information on local deployments and war news.
Scott Peterson is facing more immediate worries tonight than his upcoming arraignment for killing his wife and unborn child. There are some folks
in this facility who have made threats against him.
For his own safety, Peterson is now being segregated from other prisoners because of threats made against him. The identification of his wife and child's remains last week made this an emotional Easter for Lacey Peterson's friends in Modesto.
It's very painful. You just don't understand it.
I think he's inherently evil. He has no conscience.
Investigators confirm when they arrested Peterson Friday, he had more than $10,000 in cash, as well as his brother's ID. He's expected to be formally charged tomorrow or Tuesday.
Tonight, investigators are saying the Pennsylvania man accused of kidnapping his niece and killing her parents was obsessed with the girl. Robert Lee Hickson surrendered after a 4-hour standoff where he held a shotgun to his own head. And this all started last night in Pocono Lake when Hickson allegedly shot and killed his brother-in-law and sister-in-law after breaking into their home. Tonight, police say there is evidence Hickson was sexually obsessed with the girl. Hickson remains jailed without bail tonight.
A political shakeup in China tonight where 2 officials have been accused of trying to cover up the spread of the deadly disease SARS. The mayor of Beijing and the health minister have been removed from their posts a day after the government admitted many more people have been infected and killed by the disease. Worldwide, SARS has killed at least 203 people and infected more than 3,800. Health officials say only 1 person in our state, an 80-year-old Kitsap County man, has a probable case of severe acute respiratory syndrome. The case was reported after he returned from a trip to Southeast Asia last month, and tonight health officials say the man is no longer ill. There are 23 other suspected cases of SARS in our state.
Starting today, you'll have to wonder if the pilot flying your plane is packing a gun. Passengers won't know which commercial airline pilots are armed with semi-automatic pistols. 44 pilots were just sworn in as federal flight deck officers. They took to the skies today. More pilots will complete their training in the weeks to come, increasing your chances of flying with an armed pilot.
I think it's great. I'm in the military, and our pilots carry them. Not a problem.
I'm torn on it, but I think ultimately it's a good thing.
Pilots' unions lobbied for this after the September 11th attacks. The White House and the airlines at first opposed it.
Rescue efforts continue off the coast of the Florida Keys, where at least 10 pilot whales beached themselves in shallow water. 7 other whales were rescued and taken by barge to a temporary holding facility. The rescue effort started on Friday when about 24 whales stranded themselves off Big Pine Key. Several of the whales didn't survive.
Just in time for spring, the popular water taxi service across Elliott Bay is set to resume. The taxi will set sail for the first time this season tomorrow morning, carrying passengers between West Seattle and the downtown waterfront. And it will keep running through late September.
Good to have that back. Scott Haveson is in the KIRO 7 Pinpoint Severe Weather Center with your first look at our forecast. Scott?
Well, Wayne and Sally, it looks like we've got some rain developing this evening. Overnight lows 40 to 45. Now, when we come back, I'm going to let you know how things are going to be shaping up for the beginning of the work week, plus your pinpoint 5-day forecast. That's all coming up next.
We'll also have the latest on the weekend search for a missing plane in the Cascades.
I immediately started screaming as loud as I could.
An East Side woman's terrifying ordeal when she stepped out of her shower.
And new details on the local brewery about to close that will cost hundreds of people their jobs. That's next on KIRO 7 Eyewitness News.
Monday at 5. It's supposed to be a lifesaver, but millions of cars have seatbelts that could have a fatal flaw.
There's a pretty good chance you just might have the seatbelt in question in your vehicle.
A KIRO 7 consumer investigation. Monday at 5 on KIRO 7 Eyewitness News.
Each time we leave this garage, we are committed to doing the best we can to maintain service.
At Quest, you can count on our spirit of service.
The spirit of service is something that not only do you feel, but you try to live by it.
Trust is developed by the hard work that we do.
There's a lot of satisfaction in getting the job done.
And so you do develop some close bonds with your customers.
If there's anything I can do for the customer above and beyond, I'll do it.
To help somebody out makes me feel really good.
The spirit of service, there for you.
We've always lived out in the country.
Oh, we spend a lot of time outside.
It's just so peaceful and quiet. But, you know, all we got to do is throw some steaks on the fire, and we got ourselves a party. Attaboy. You know, when you live in a small town, Walmart is definitely a way of life.
And this time of year, we live in that garden department.
Lawn furniture, grilling supplies.
I love to be able to just get lots of flowers.
And you just can't beat those prices. Somebody asked me, they said, how's it to live out there? And I said, it's like getting up on vacation every morning.
Oh, you bet.
It just doesn't get any better than this.
A terrifying encounter in this Bellevue condominium complex. A woman walks out of her shower to find a strange man standing there with a knife. It should serve as a warning to all East Side residents tonight.
This disturbing home invasion happened in the Overlake area of Bellevue. The woman told us about her frightening encounter. Now, we're protecting her identity, and tonight the man who attacked her is still out there.
The man, when he entered my apartment, armed himself with my big cutting knife, I suppose.
This 49-year-old woman is trying to prepare Easter dinner using a knife which was not seized as evidence by police.
Anyway, this is what I have left to work with today, so.
She realizes she's lucky to be here at all after being surprised in this hallway by the armed man after taking a shower.
And I turned and peeked out my bedroom window, and he was right there.
The man had come in through her kitchen window, which, like this one, is accessible to people walking by. He grabbed her large knife and was looking through her purse when she confronted him.
So I immediately started screaming as loud as I could, and he ran. And he must have dropped that knife in the hallway.
And as this mother and grandmother watched him drive away, she never let up.
Continued to scream out the window so that he would know that I'm still screaming, you know. And
the man didn't say a word. News of the break-in has already spread to her neighbors.
We make sure our front windows are locked now.
How did you have the wherewithal to scream so loud?
I have no idea, because have you ever had the dream where and nothing comes out? I'm so pleased to hear that I can scream.
Bellevue police are looking for the intruder. He's described as a tall, thin, white male with facial hair, and he was last seen driving away in a blue Chevrolet Impala, one with a very loud muffler. If you recognize that description, contact Bellevue police.
Police have arrested a homeless man they say kidnapped and raped a Kent woman last week. Investigators say the man confronted the 39-year-old woman outside her downtown apartment Thursday night. He then allegedly forced her inside where the attack took place. Police arrested the suspect yesterday after spotting him in downtown Kent. Another day of searching for a missing plane turned up nothing. Volunteers flew all weekend between Wenatchee and Bellingham looking for the small plane that vanished 3 days ago. The Cessna 320 took off Thursday from Pangbourne Airport in Wenatchee with 2 businessmen from California on board. It hasn't been seen since. Search coordinators say the pilot did not file a flight plan. At least 24 volunteer pilots have been flying over the Cascades looking for that plane this weekend.
That Chicago baseball fan who attacked an umpire last week, well, now he says he was drunk and insists he's very sorry. The man you see here at the bottom of your screen ran out onto the field here and he crashed into the ump this weekend. From jail, 24-year-old Eric Dybus told the Chicago Sun-Times the stunt capped a day-long drinking binge and he never intended to hurt anyone. Dybus has been slapped with felony charges and is being held on a $250,000 bond. Now, if convicted, he faces up to 5 years in prison.
The chief of NASA's Space Shuttle program is resigning. Washington State native Ron Dittemore was thrust into the spotlight when the shuttle Columbia exploded. He was close friends with Mike Anderson, who died in that tragedy. Both grew up in the Spokane area. NASA sources say Dittemore had planned to resign earlier, but postponed his departure because of the shuttle disaster and the investigation.
$15 million, that's the going price tonight for the Olympia Brewery in Tumwater. In January, the Miller Brewing Company announced it's shutting down the 107-year-old facility, the longtime home of Olympia beer. Tonight, officials say at least 9 companies are interested in buying the 176-acre site. No word, though, on who may have the inside track right now. Meantime, the brewery is set to close July 1st, throwing 400 employees out of work. A popular Seattle nightclub downtown shut down by the big Nisqually earthquake is rising from the rubble. The owners of the Phoenix now say they will reopen a new Phoenix at 1st Avenue South and Washington Street. They hope to open the doors next month.
Good evening, everyone. Scott Haveson in the KIRO 7 Pinpoint Severe Weather Center. Well, it was a gray weekend, but we managed to stay dry for the most part. Saturday and Sunday, our highs 59 degrees. And taking a live look now from our Pinpoint City Cam in the downtown area, we do have rain developing and a lot of it moving in. The KIRO 7 Pinpoint Storm Tracker Doppler radar picking up some rain up towards Port Angeles and Port Townsend. A lot of rain right around Bangor down through Paulsbo and Bremerton and Kent. And you can see it. This is coming in from the south and east and actually moving off to the north and west. We'll take a closer look now at our radar and you can see some moderate rain activity now all the way from North Seattle all the way down towards Kent and Renton and Auburn. Seeing plenty of rain as well. Look out on the Kitsap Peninsula, Tacoma, Gig Harbor, Bremerton seeing a pretty good shower right now, and this stretches all the way up to the north towards Paulsbo and also back to the east. Black Diamond and Enumclaw seeing a lot of rain, North Bend, Snoqualmie, and this rain is all the way over towards Yakima and Cle Elum. Pinpoint neighborhood weather stations this evening. 47 degrees right now in Everett with a northwest wind at 12 miles an hour, a little bit gusty there. 38 degrees and a little light rain up at Snoqualmie Pass right now. 47 degrees in East King County in Issaquah. Pinpoint satellite picture now shows this front that basically stayed stationary off the coast for the entire weekend. Yeah, it kept us gray, and for the most part, it did keep us dry, but now we have an area of low pressure that is moving up from Northern California, and it's following the storm track, has a counterclockwise rotation, so it's actually going to be throwing some clouds and some rain our way overnight tonight and through part of the day tomorrow. So your pinpoint forecast tonight in the North Sound, you can expect rain and mild overnight temperatures in the mid-40s. Daytime highs tomorrow cooler than they were today in the low 60s throughout the North Sound today. 63 in Bellingham, only 57 tomorrow, 57 in Everett, and 56 degrees at NAS Whidbey Island. A chilly night down in Olympia. Olympia, 40 degrees there with the rain, 45 degrees in Tacoma and Seattle, 42 degrees in Mason County and Shelton. Daytime highs tomorrow after seeing 60s today, only into the upper 50s, 57 for Olympia, 56 in Shelton and Bremerton, also 56 here in Seattle. Out on the ocean beaches tonight, low 40s, a little bit warmer in Hoquiam at 45, but cool in Chehalis at 40 degrees. Daytime highs tomorrow, we're going to get into the low 50s, 53 in Ocean Shores, 54 in Forks, 55 for Hoquiam, and 58 degrees in Chehalis. Now, the mountain passes are going to see some precipitation too. The frozen variety, though, is going to be falling above 5,000 feet. So places like Snoqualmie and Stevens Pass, it's going to be all rain, and your pass temperatures tomorrow are going to range from 40 to 45 degrees. So it looks like a wet start for our Monday morning commute, and well, that could cause a little bit of problems. So leave a little extra time as you head off to work tomorrow morning, and morning temperatures in the mid-40s. So we're talking about scattered showers and sunbreaks tomorrow, but Tuesday, the pick day of the week with plenty of sunshine. Wednesday, cool rain moving in, and it's going to be sticking around, giving us unsettled weather right on until next weekend. I'll be back shortly to take a look at your wake-up forecast.
Thanks, Scott. Former Sonic Gary Payton talks for the first time after he's busted by police.
And the Mariners nearly get bumped again down in Anaheim. Gaard has all your highlights next.
Interference on Cirillo. On KIRO, Team 7 investigation exposes a deadly scheme, selling used cars with fake airbags.
We uncover a deceptive practice that could have some fatal consequences.
An undercover Team 7 investigation, Thursday on KIRO 7 Eyewitness News at 5.
KIRO 7 Pinpoint Weather is brought to you by Thermopride, oil furnaces built tough for lifetime comfort.
If you start back and forth, then the whole window back and forth, and not some back and forth, some up and down. It makes a difference. Because we like to keep things clean. Clean house, clean people. That's why we use oil heat. Would you like to go take a look at the furnace?
Dad.
You can learn a lot from a clean furnace. Come with me. Not gonna believe this, baby.
Today's oil heat is safe, affordable, and 95% cleaner thanks to Clearburn Science.
Chevy continues to drive the nation. With 0% APR financing for 60 months on every new 2003 Chevy car and truck. No exceptions. That's 0% APR for 60 months on every Chevy vehicle. It's easy to make offers like these when you're in overdrive. Visit us online or see your Northwest Chevy dealer today.
Using the Target Visa card is a great way to support education. Every time you use your Target Visa, Target will give to the school of your choice. What better way to give credit to what matters most? Visit target.com/visa to learn more.
Entertainment tonight, weeknights at 7 on KIRO 7.
Don't forget some breakfast.
There is another way to get nutrition at breakfast.
Whoa, nice arm!
Gotta run.
The nutrition you get from cereal and real milk.
All right, Grandma!
We'll just get something on the way, hon.
Excellent!
Milk and cereal bars. Milk and cereal nutrition now in a great tasting bar.
Mom, you are good.
Milk and cereal bars. Everything but the mold.
Celebrating 30 years in Puyallup, the Puyallup Home and RV Show returns to the Puyallup Fairgrounds April 30th through May 4th. Feel the freedom of owning your own home and the freedom of traveling by RV. Don't miss the 2003 Puyallup Home and RV Show at the Puyallup Fairgrounds.
Mommy, the refrigerator had an accident.
Sears repairs all major brands of appliances, no matter where you bought them. Call or click for parts and repair services. Sears, where else?
Gaard is here now. Kazu had a chance to redeem himself today after yesterday's performance.
Yeah, he barely did it, too.
Never easy when you're playing the world champions.
Even Scooter over here is complaining about Kazu. I think everybody is, even though he got the win today. You were a little bit. You're dogging him in here. All right, when the Mariners play under the sun, they win. This season, they are a perfect 7-0 in day games, but today the Angels almost spoiled the fun. A big game at Edison Field today, but the Rally Monkey almost did the fellas in today. Angels opened the scoring. This is big Garrett Anderson, the big lefty, taking Ryan Franklin deep and out of the yard, but Franklin still pitched well today. 7 innings, just 2 runs. Mariners got on the board in the third. Dan Wilson with his first homer of the year, dropping Washburn's pitch over the wall in left field here, and the M's eventually tied the game at 2. Couple of innings later, Booney, the little guy with the big bat going yard straightaway center. This is deep and out, his 5th on the season, and the Mariners are looking good up 5-2, but like last night, they fall apart late. Bottom of the 8th, Sean Wooten, the little floater to center, and it's going to drop in front of Cammy, and that'll score a pair, and all of a sudden we are tied at 5. But in the 9th, the Mariners take the lead for good. John Olerud will sting the RBI single back up the box. He is just clutch. He later scored to make it 7-5. You'd think that'd be a big enough cushion, right? But in the 9th, Anaheim pulled within 1. Kazu almost blows it again. Instead, he gets Brad Fulmer swinging, and the M's hang on. They breathe a sigh of relief, 7-6. Mariners back in first place with the win. They open up a 6-game homestand Tuesday against Cleveland and Detroit. Both those teams have combined 7-28, including the 1-16 Tigers. In Pittsburgh, the Easter Bunny was stunned by what happened to Sammy Sosa today. Look at those ears. Top of the 4th, scary moment. Listen to this. Oh, Sosa was drilled in the ear flap, made him a little loopy. Sosa left the game. He said he was okay, but his helmet was not. Look at that thing. Cracked it. In fact, Sosa said he didn't even have a headache after that. Man, can you believe that? In St. Louis, the Cards and the D-backs pumping up the volume. Tino Martinez gets hit in the shoulder. So he starts John with Miguel Batista, but no blows just yet. We have to wait a couple minutes. Martinez was thrown out at second base, and on his way back to the dugout, Tino has some unfinished business. He charges the mound. There he goes. Batista throws the baseball. Luckily, he misses, and it is a bench-clearing brawl. Both Martinez and Batista were ejected. All right, moving on to hoops. Gary Payton was back at Bucks practice today, one day after surrendering to police in Toronto on assault charges. Payton and 2 of his teammates surrendered to police just hours after losing a playoff game to the Nets. The 3 were allegedly involved in a fight outside a Toronto strip club 9 days ago. Payton, who had a clean record for 12 seasons with the Sonics, is being charged with 3 counts of assault.
I'm not going to be the one to judge it. You know, it might have happened. I mean, if it would have happened to you, you think it would be like this right now? You think I'll be having a mic in your face asking you about this? No. So it happens. So that's just the way it is.
We're not on trial for murder. You know what I'm saying? So y'all making a big ordeal out of it, which is your job to do. And we understand that, but it's something that, you know, they get more attention from the States and in Canada where the incident happened at.
All right, all 3 are scheduled for court May 30th. In other games today, L.A. wins on the road in Minnesota and Orlando over Detroit 99-94. And Allen Iverson, the answer, with a franchise record 55 as the Sixers take Game 1 against New Orleans. In St. Louis, Game 6 between the Canucks and the Blues. First period, game tied at 1. Matthias Olin going top shelf to give the Canucks the 2-1 lead. In fact, Vancouver, talk about a breath of fresh air for these guys. They win it 4-3. That ties the series at 3 games apiece. Game 7 will be Tuesday in Vancouver. If you remember, at the beginning of the series, these guys were just barely hanging in there, and all of a sudden, boom, they're back home.
Now it's going to be decided
baby.
there. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks so much, Gaard.
Yep, we'll be right back.
Closed captioning of KIRO 7 Eyewitness News is brought to you by Subway.
Another rollback. Dares to save you even more. Walmart. Always low prices. Always.
Something inside drives you to outperform, to outmaneuver, to take control, to dig in and bury the competition.
The sport utility toughness of the all-wheel drive Subaru Outback.
Subaru, driven by what's inside.
See your local Subaru dealer for information on financing as low as 0% APR.
Hello?
They knew my name.
The client?
The bank.
No.
Yes.
Wow.
Mr. Landis, we love your business plan. Mr. Landis, can you believe that?
They loved it.
Yeah.
It's time for a better bank. Columbia Bank. You'll notice the difference.
They knew your name, too.
Really?
While at work, stay informed with the all-new KIROTV.com.
When Jeff and Sharon's baby arrived, they knew their needs would change overnight.
You need a bigger house, maybe a minivan. And what about college?
What they didn't know was I could help.
Now the same State Farm agent who helped you plan for just in case can help you with what could be. With auto loans, mortgages, even college funding.
Minivan.
For help with banking, insurance, and investing, talk to your agent today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
What's this?
Breakfast.
It's kind of early, buddy.
You guys need to take some cholesterol off of you.
Honey, have you been reading the Cheerios box again?
I got that off the box.
Cheerios is still the only leading cold cereal clinically proven to reduce cholesterol to help your heart.
That was very thoughtful of you. Very early, but very thoughtful.
Cheerios, good for the heart.
Sounds like a wet wake-up forecast for us.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit soggy tomorrow morning for the commute, and we're going to see showers throughout the day. Showers and sun breaks, but it'll be temperatures in the mid-40s tomorrow. Leave a little extra time as you head out the door, because Monday morning, wet roads, never a good scenario.
But Tuesday's better, so.
Tuesday's great, and then Wednesday, we'll talk.
Oh, we're focusing on Tuesday. Thanks so much. Thank you for tuning in tonight.
Have a good night.
Good night, everybody.
KIRO 7's Pinpoint Weather and a chance to pick your paradise with a vacation a day giveaway to the Caribbean can be found on 98.9 Smooth Jazz KWJZ.